TV.
And I'm Wheeler here for Ofb Tv. Now tonight, two teams who are at the top of the division in the East met, and they both had something to prove because even though they've been on hot streaks, both of them just came off embarrassing losses. The Flyers, of course, giving up, was it 7 goals? Eight goals.
8-7 last night.
And the Caps with getting shut out for the first time in nearly a year in their 5-0 loss to the Atlanta Thrashers. So both of these teams came out here with an incredible amount of momentum, wanting to prove something.
And actually, the Caps were able to play and protect the lead for about a period and a half when Marcus Johansson got the first tally in the first period off assist from Jason Chimera and Matt Bradley. But a momentum changer really seemed to be a questionable interference call against Lake in the second period that gave Philly a power play, and they scored, and from there on opened up the scoring to take a 3-1 lead in the third.
And penalties really were what everybody was talking about today. The Caps had 9 penalties, the Flyers 7, and usually towards the end of the game a ref will put the whistle away, but this was not the case in this game. I mean, they were just calling things left and right. And Bruce Boudreau said that a lot of the penalties were a little bit dicey. I mean, fair's boarding call, it's pretty difficult to board somebody while they're facing you. And we were chatting in the hallway about how ridiculous the penalty calling was, and an anonymous Flyer, we won't say his name, walked in between us and grumbled in agreement that yes, the penalties were a little bit out of control. The refs, I think, took too much control of the game.
I agree, and Matt Hendricks said afterwards too, everyone was pretty tight-lipped about the penalty situation, but Matt Hendricks did say that really just kind of interrupt the flow of the game. Guys are switching around in the lineups and it can really interrupt momentum. But something that the Caps really had going for them tonight was the power play. The Caps were able to tie it up in the third off of 2 power play goals, one by Nick Baxter and one by Jason Chimera, which is actually his first power play goal as
back-to-back within a minute of each other.
Exactly. So the scoring kind of opened up again in the third period there, and it sent them into overtime, eventually into a shootout, which the Caps lost. Going up to the Caps were 7, Ovechkin and Nick Backstrom, and none of their names were capitalized.
Yes, it was pretty upsetting because in here in the arena, the fans were just going nuts when those 2 goals were scored back-to-back, and you knew that they really wanted it. But the Caps man said that they were proud of themselves. Of course they wanted to walk away with the win, but coming off of that 5-0 loss, they felt like they're back on the right track. And something else that was important to note, speaking of all these power plays and penalty kills, was that Eric Fair said that special teams win games, especially in the playoffs. And Nick said something interesting to you about the game, that this felt like a playoff game. So the Caps are focusing on special teams, and they're looking ahead towards the playoffs and hopefully that Stanley Cup in the future.
And they also have actually, something that Matt Hendricks really gave credit to was the fans and the Caps keeping to their system. He said those were a couple of reasons why they were actually able to come back against Philly, unlike Friday night against Atlanta, where they were shut out.
And now the Caps head on a 2-game road trip, starting out with New Jersey on Monday. For Ofb Tv, I'm Wheeler.
Elisabeth Meinecke, thanks.